28% of Amazon sellers have profit margins between 1 and 10%. 13% of Amazon sellers have profit margins between 10 and 15%. That's 41% of Amazon sellers that have margins between 1 and 15%. That's crazy, right? Now, even if you're not in that range, in today's video, we're going to go over exactly how you could increase your profits in 2025 by pulling these 8 levers that we will walk through in this video. Let's get straight into it. So the first lever you would pull is, of course, bleeding optimization. You want to prevent any bleeding as fast as possible. So the first thing we like to do is to download the search term report and filter. On the filters tabs, you can filter whatever search term got 10 clicks with no sales. And immediately I would negate that. I'd throw it in negative exact, or I would reduce the bids so that you're not bleeding as much on those terms. Something else you can do is also, if I'm selling a wooden spatula and I'm targeting silicone spatulas, then what I could do is look at silicone spatulas, which isn't necessarily super relevant to our product. And so you could kind of filter and look at those different intents and see if these silicone spatula is getting good results and if it's not. So I guess, the key point here would be to look at different buyer intents for different kind of variations of your product and see if those are causing too much bleeding of ad spend. And if they are, of course, you would reduce the bids or throw it in negative phrase. Something else you can do is also, if you have a target ACOS, let's say it's 15%, you could filter the high ACOS terms. And whatever, let's say you have a term at 45% ACOS or 55% ACOS, I recommend whatever is above 30% above your target ACOS, you would start to remove some bids or, start to remove anything that's unnecessarily spending. So that's what I would do in terms of bleeding optimization. At number 2, we have proper campaign structure. Now, what this means is one campaign, one ad type, one match type, not more than 7 keywords, and make sure the keywords that you have in there are also not too high of a difference in search volume. So don't put a term that has 50,000 search volume with a term that has 500 search volume in the same campaign, because it's kind of clunky, the data. So we always recommend having, segmented campaigns that are one campaign, one ad type, one match type, not more than 1 to 7 keywords, and to make sure that search volume gap isn't too wide. Now, the third lever that could be pulled is budget distribution. Now, what do I mean by this is by looking at your products. Let's say you have a big catalog. Look at your products at a product level and see their performance at a tacos level and see what's overspending, what's underspending, see what your top performers are, what's not performing very well. And from there, you can kind of reallocate your PPC budget. You don't want to be spending too much on a child ASIN that's not performing and isn't performing. Instead, reallocate that budget and put it towards something that's performing and that that works well, so that you can have, a core child ASIN that's doing well, instead of spreading yourself thin and spending on so many different child ASINs. The fourth lever that you can pull is not cannibalizing your organic orders because you're doubling down on PPC. So if something on the PPC side is working really well, you don't want to overtake that organic position by, running PPC too aggressively. So if you're in the first or second position organically, or say you're in the second position or third position and you start running PPC on the first position, you're kind of cannibalizing on that side because you're already ranked really high. So what we like to do is try to rank as high as possible, leveraging PPC. And then once the organic orders start coming in, then we start to reduce our bids slowly but surely and kind of monitor. So we don't want to reduce our bids too fast because then our organic rank might drop too fast. So you kind of want to slowly but surely, gradually reduce your PPC spend so that you're not in the second or third position organically and also bidding, on the first position, for example, and cannibalizing your organic orders. The fifth lever I would pull is analyzing your PPC data and looking at what days and what hours are you getting the most amount of orders. To give you a quick example, we had a brand that we were working with that didn't ship They were an FBA brand and they didn't ship at certain days throughout the week. So, obviously you wouldn't want to be spending on the weekends if you don't even ship orders on the weekends, but that can be applied to any niche, even if you're doing FBA or FBM. Kind of look at a daily or at a weekly or at a hourly time frame to see when you're getting your orders in. And if between, 12 p.m. or 12 a.m. to 6 a.m., you're not getting any orders, then at that point, it's not worth you really spending money. And you could reallocate that budget and double down on hours that work really well for you or days that work really well for you. This is a very common theme depending on the category and the niche, but this is definitely a good lever to pull because your ad dollars are really basically getting more bang for your buck with your ad dollars when getting all this data together. The sixth strategy I would use is called the catch-all campaign structure. Now, I have a video on my channel that I'll put a link somewhere here where you can go and check it out. But essentially, it's a super profitable strategy. Literally 9 out of 10 times, this will bring in tons of profit. In that video, I go over how to set it up. Also a case study on how it generated almost $300,000 out of 10 ROAS for our brand. So I definitely recommend checking it out. Essentially, in a nutshell, what the strategy is you have a super low bid, so call it 10 cents on the bid, and you would create an auto campaign and a broad campaign. And you would also add a multiplier so that you would get sales at 12 cents, at 14 cents, at 16 cents. So that modifier is getting sales all the way up your bidding. So that's a strategy we like to run. And then on the broad side, we would also do you would add in your root words. So your core root words that are getting the most amount of orders. And you would do the same strategy with a lower bid. So you could go ahead and check out that video. I walked through the whole step through of it. So yeah, that's what I would pull for the sixth lever. Now at number 7, I know this is a bit, sounds pretty simple and stupid, but is a huge way of saving profit is long-term storage fees. Now, every month you get charged storage fees, but when you have a long-term storage fee, when it hits, I believe, over a year, then you get a different fee for, having long-term storage. So essentially what you want to do is identify where you're getting charged at long-term storage. And you want to do these checks every now and then. And what you would do, well, to check this out, you go in inventory planning, and then I believe it's manage excess inventory. And you'll be able to find where you're getting charged that excess inventory fee. So I would regularly check that. And if you do have a lot of inventory in a certain unit that's not selling well, try and create a deal, try and create a coupon, try and cross-sell it with other products. Find a way to kind of liquidate it as fast as possible, even at a higher discount, just so that you don't get charged that extra long-term storage fee. The last lever you can pull is to make sure you're getting charged the right FBA fees. Now, believe it or not, it happens very often where Amazon will charge you a fee that's above your bracket in terms of dimensions and weight, and you have no idea about it. So again, make sure that you're regularly checking what FBA fees you fall under, and make sure you're getting that checked and adjusted on your Amazon account, and make sure if it's not properly optimized that you go ahead and create a case and tell Amazon, I see you increasing our prices on that. So make sure you check that out. Make sure you also try and find optimizations of ways to resize or repackage your packaging, or if there's any ways where you can cut corners to avoid paying a higher FBA fee. I know it sounds pretty obvious, but this can increase a percentage of margin on top of what you're making in revenue. And there you have it. Those are the 8 hacks that you can pull today to increase your profits in this competitive Amazon marketplace in 2025. And with that being said, we do have, if you click the first link in the description, we're running audits for brands. We've identified thousands of dollars in wasted ad spend just by following simple things, just like in this video that we covered. So if you're interested in getting an Amazon growth audit, then click the first link in the description. And until then, I will see you in the next video.